All right, what's up, guys? Cyber Donut here, and I wanted to jump on and talk about the CompTIA 701 exam. So, if you guys haven't watched my videos, it's because I don't have a lot out, and a while ago I decided to make a YouTube channel, and I did make a couple of videos, but I wasn't very advanced in my cybersecurity career, so I kind of hit a pause on that. But now that I'm learning a lot more certificates, more knowledge, and hands-on experience, I feel like now is the proper time to get back onto YouTube and start guiding you guys through my journey and hopefully teach you guys a thing or two, right? So I wanted to talk to you about my experience for the 701 exam. Now, why did I choose the 701 Security Plus exam? I have a quick, funny story about that. So, if you don't know me, I've been in law enforcement for over 10 years. I happen to be working with, he's actually a close buddy of mine now, but at the time, I didn't really know too much about him. We just kind of happened to be in the same area, we're chatting. I see him studying something. I asked him, what are you reading? And he told me that he was studying for the CompTIA Security Plus exam for cybersecurity. And I'm like, well, what is that? Like, I don't know what cybersecurity is, or I guess I knew very little at the time. And he kind of explained it to me like it's like the digital world of policing. And that kind of stuck with me and kind of started giving me a little bit more intricate details, and told me that his now wife was very high up in the cybersecurity world, very knowledgeable, and I spoke with her, and that's when I started the CompTIA Security Plus. I ordered my book on Amazon, and that's where I began. So it's a long book. I think it's like 700 pages, maybe less, maybe more. I don't remember, but I feel like this book made sense because it is the fundamentals of cybersecurity. It gives you pretty much everything that you need to know to kind of kickstart your career or kickstart your journey into breaking into the field. Not everybody gets it. Some other people do other hands-on things, but CompTIA is very strongly used in a lot of government jobs, and a lot of employers look for it. It actually states in the job description that Security Plus is required along with some other certs, but it's definitely good to have under your belt, and it gives you the basics when you don't have any experience at all like I did. So I'm going to talk to you about the exam, the exam overview of the domains and stuff like that, the study materials that I used, and my study plan. But first, I wanted to also kind of give you guys a word of advice that I took this exam, and I'm not even joking you, I took it 4 times. The first was 601, right before it expired, and I failed it probably within a week of it expiring. I was kind of pissed. I was pretty close. I got like 722, and I only studied for like a month, a pretty hard month. I was disappointed, but now I have to learn a whole new textbook, so I did the 701. So I started studying that. I took it maybe like a week after the 601 expired, failed. I took 701 again, probably 2 weeks later, failed. And I'm getting a little bit better grades each time. Got a 722, got a 726, got a 7, whatever it was, 30s. You need a 750 to pass. Finally, on the 4th time, I passed with a 780. And the point of my story being is that if you want to jump into this career, you gotta eat the failure sometimes. Sometimes you're not going to pass on the first try. I'm not a great test taker. I know that. I'm very good hands-on. I know what I'm doing, I know what to look for. But when it comes to multiple choice exams, sometimes everything looks alike, And trying to apply it onto the exam, I didn't do a great job at it at the time. And I knew where I made my mistakes, and I fixed it. So if you're serious about getting into this and you fail once, twice, 3 times, and you have to take it on the fourth try and spend almost $2,000 like I did, then so be it. You got to do it. Just make sure you're ready to take the exam, and I'm going to try to prep you with how I went about doing this for somebody who's okay at taking exams. So if I can pass, I think you guys should be able to handle yourselves too, especially if you guys are very, test savvy. So let's begin with, I'm going to go about talking with the domains first. Okay, so I believe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, there's 5 domains. So first one is 12% of your grade. So it's not very difficult to understand what most of this is, but sometimes the security controls could get a little confusing. I will try to hint at what to kind of focus your attention on. I know everybody has different exam questions, and I'm not telling you anything very specifically. I'm just going to give you little highlights of what you should maybe look into, right? So security controls, I'm sure this might pop up a couple times, 12% of your grade, but you want to know this: doing technical, preventative, managerial, deterrent, operational, detective, physical, corrective, and all that stuff, right? Very important. You could also get like drop down stuff like that to, link which one is what. Just make sure you have a good understanding, know the examples, and know how to categorize all of them correctly. Then you get your fundamental concepts, the SEA triad, your AAA, zero trust, all that stuff, change management, all that stuff. And personally, I didn't really get, surprisingly, anything regarding the cryptographic solutions, but that doesn't mean you won't get it. So just stuff to know is 12% of your grade. That's not where your main focus should be. It's probably going to be the security operations and your threats, vulnerabilities, and mitigation. So once you go down here to threats, vulnerabilities, mitigations, you definitely want to know your threat actors and motivations, your attackers and ransomware, all that stuff, right? Malware, and understand what your vulnerabilities are, explaining application hardware, and all that stuff. I'll show mitigation techniques using segmentation, access control. They actually, even on the practice exams too, right? Mitigation techniques are pretty, they pound that into the exam a lot. So just something to keep in mind, something to have a good understanding about. And I really wouldn't go into this exam not being familiar with any of these, in my opinion, because I've seen some questions pop up multiple times, worded differently, and if you don't know it, then you're going to get multiple wrong. So be familiar, understand which term is what and what it means, and don't second guess yourself. I'm going to get more into that. I kind of just wanted to brush over all these domains. The operations. Oh, wait. Did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Security architect. Just understanding how all this works. Internet of Things and infrastructure as a code. Control system, enterprise infrastructure, data protection, and resilience and recovery. They do hit on that quite a few times. Again, on your practice exams that you're going to take from other professors and stuff, that's going to be on the exam. So definitely understand. To talk about on-premise and cloud a little bit, and virtualization. Also IaaS, platform as a service, and what's the other one? Infrastructure as a service. Actually, I don't know if they retired that on this exam. I know it was on the 601. Maybe it's somewhere on here, but I do remember that being a confusing part for me that I have a good understanding about now. And the next one is security operations. Now, this is your meat and the potatoes. You got almost 30% of your grade on this. So you're going to want to understand your computing resources, right? Your asset management, vulnerability management, alerting and monitoring, your enterprise security, IAM, single sign-on, multi-factor, privilege. Least privilege is usually the answer. That's what you want to give everybody. Just enough to do their job. I'm going to talk about incident response and data resource. And security program management oversight, 20% of your grade. And again, it's a 50-year grade. You want to have a good understanding about your security awareness, audits, security compliance, third risk management, and security governance. And everything's all listed here for you. Just make sure you're aware of all this and go from there, right? So let's get into what I used for my study materials. Okay, I'm gonna click on a couple things here. Amazon. Where's my orders? Get to see. Oh, you kidding me right now? Okay. Get to see I ordered some cool pajamas. All right. Okay. This was the book that I used to study. And I got this book after my second exam attempt. So I failed once with this book, and then the next time around I passed. But this book is great. It's by Ian Neal, and everything's broken down in domains. So I can't. Doesn't really have the pictures or anything, but yeah, what I really liked about this book is that it had domain number 1, right? It had your general security concepts, your 12%, and it laid out everything like 1.1, and then 1.2 is the next subject, and then all that, right? I think that's very important because when you actually make your outline, or even if you just study from the book, you know where to kind of focus your attention. And when you get stuff wrong on your tests, it kind of refers back to the section. So I think there was a better layout now that I'm thinking about it with this, but this is the one that they had. I think the other one used to have like 1.1, section 1.2, no, this, section 1.3, unless this is the section. So maybe this is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and then 2.1. I don't know. Anyway, it used to be a little bit different. Anyway, yeah, this was a great book. Personally, somebody who is pretty shitty with exams, I think that this might be your go-to, and it has a lot of practice questions, quite a few at the end, has the flashcards and key acronyms and 3 full-length mock exams. Honestly, definitely worth the money. It's $40, and if you guys return your stuff, it's basically free. So that's probably my number 1 go-to with studying. I learned a lot from this book, and you also get like a little 12% discount as well. Now, the next thing was, so I had this all listed out. YouTube, cyber with Ben. So you got this guy right here, Cyber with Ben, or Ben Truang. He's a great guy. I like listening to his videos. He's very helpful with like beginning roadmap of cybersecurity, what you should focus on, kind of reviews a bunch of these courses, and I think he works in like a SOC environment remotely from what I understand, but he does have a study guide in his links that pretty much they're free, but he asks for a cup of coffee or something in return, or tip him $5 or whatever it is. You give him what you want, but it's downloadable, then you just print it out. So I liked his study guide a lot. Kind of followed along with that, and the that study guide I just showed you with Ian Neal. So yeah, definitely check him out. He definitely good reference, and he talks about other exams too, AWS, I think some Microsoft things, and whatever, how to become a GRC analyst, and his review on the Cyber Defender, and he goes on and on. So very good resource. Follow him, subscribe. My next thing was Professor Messor. 701. Now, I mean, with all the studying that I did, honestly, I kind of just brushed up on some of the stuff that I was unaware about, or not unaware, but that I could have, I guess, been smarter about, and that I'm weak on, my weak points, I guess, you could say. And this dude talks about, is this his course? He's got like a whole course. I'm trying to find it right now. Maybe if I just click into this, right? 701 study. So this guy has like study groups, and he's got courses. I just trying to find his 701 videos or playlist. That's what I'm looking for here. So he's got everything. Any like CompTIA stuff, this dude is on point. 701 full training course right here. And on the right side has everything broken down into each domain. So whatever you're weak on, if you are not good with blockchain technology, boom, 2 minutes right here talks about it, right? He has your threat actors right here. It's a 10-minute video. So anything that you're weak on, definitely brush up with his videos. He goes in depth with it, and he was very helpful. He also has, if you buy his exams, I think it was like $20 or something like that. Definitely worth the investment, and you can go through the whole entire exam, and then below that we'll have the answer key, and I think they're like 90 questions, so it's very good practice. Definitely a good resource. Actually, somebody who I think was, in my opinion, better, was it on Udemy, or I think it was on Udemy, Andrew Ramdayal. Hope I said his name right. Jeez, I can't type today. Oh, okay, well, his course was not $109, but I think if you get like one of those subscription things, you should be able to, deal with all that. But he has like a 30-day study plan, talks about the exam domains, and he just goes into everything. And I think his is even more broken down than Messor's, in my opinion. But I really liked his course. I listened to the whole thing. This was after my third fail, and second with 701. But this dude, he breaks everything down, makes it very understandable. So definitely, in my opinion, you should check his stuff out. He might be like my number one reference for videos over Professor Messor. And he's got 3. How many exams? Oh, he's got a mock exam here. He also has an exam one as well. Yeah, so he has another one somewhere. You can surf through it, but he has 3 exams where you can take it. And full course. Okay, well, I can't find it right now. But if you guys do a little digging, he does have 3 practice exams that you could take, and I believe it's like 75 to 90 questions. I think that closely resembles the exam. Professor Messor, I think this is good practice. You learn a lot from his exams alone, but I think his questions are just worded very differently compared to the CompTIA exam, and I didn't like the way CompTIA worded their stuff. For me, I had a hard time when I was doing his exams, and Andrews and Messors, I was scoring probably like mid 80s, and you know, I failed obviously the first couple times, but their exams are good. You learn a lot, and it really preps you up for these exams. So definitely check them out. Andrew, Professor Messor, Cyber with Ben, definitely good for like not even just CompTIA stuff, like anything, but he does have a good study guide. You can pay him $5 for it, and it's a good like X amount of pages printed out, and you have it at your own fingertips. Now, I started studying pretty hard in April. I took my first exam in April. I think that was this 601. I forgot what month it expired, so it was last year. But it was the 601 exam. I failed like a week before, and I think in April, I think it was April or May, when I took the first 701 exam. It wasn't too long after. So the breakdown of how long I studied for was about maybe 2 months. 2 months of like focused study, and I was doing a lot. I probably even burnt myself out studying at points, and I was actually kind of getting frustrated from failing. But if this is what you want to do, you gotta get it done, right? So make sure that that certificate never expires. But yeah, so let's just say I was studying for about 4 hours a day, and I was doing it pretty much every single day. I probably, when did I pass it? June. I think I passed it in June. So yeah, April, May, June. So about 2 to 3 months it took me in between. And between each exam, I think it was about 2 weeks. So what I would do, and this is when I actually started getting a little bit more serious into the studying. While I'm at work, I'll have the Cyber with Ben study guide. When I had a chance, I'd have everything breaking up into the domains, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And I want to get good with 2. So whenever I had maybe 10 minutes, I'd kind of surf through the notes. I'd highlight some things that I really want to kind of get through to my brain, and that's it. At home, I would watch the videos. I would be taking a practice exam probably every 2 days. That's just how I started getting some repetitions in, and I try to follow the CompTIA objectives very closely. So I try focusing more on understanding and not memorizing it. Now, on exam days, it's not news. Everybody talks about it, and I think even CompTIA has it. But you're gonna have PBQs, and usually they show up first. That's just been my experience. You'd have between, I think it's 1 in 4, 1 in 5 PBQs, and that can be anything from configuring firewalls to doing drag and drops and doing drop downs and mix matching and all that stuff. That's pretty much what it is. And personally, I think from what I remember, I did those last. I kind of did a quick like mental okay, what do I have to do? Cool. And I think I had like maybe 2 or 3 PBQs. Scanned it. Okay, this is what I got to know. I saved them for last because I wanted to get the multiple choice done and over with. You can flag and return to tough questions. I flagged a lot of questions, and this is the reason. If I wasn't 100% sure that I got that question right, I would flag it. So when I seen that I had maybe 40 of my, or 50 of my 75 questions, I think I had 75, not flagged, and I had 20 something flagged. I was like, okay, I got to go back to those. And even if I was confident, but I wasn't 100% sure, I'd review it. Okay, let's have a second look at this. Is this the answer? Okay, move forward from there, right? And then go to the next flag. So I reviewed it maybe once or twice before I submitted it. Once I did all that, went to the PBQs, started knocking that out. yeah, my PBQs are pretty challenging every time. So pay attention to the textbook. They don't really explain too much of that in any of the videos. I don't even know where to get PBQ advice from, but some of it is our terminology in the textbook stuff that you learn, and some of it, personally, I haven't seen it anywhere. So I don't know why the PBQs were even on that exam. But it's above my pay grade because I don't make the exams, or am I hired by them, right? It doesn't make any sense, even in the CompTIA books. Anyway, another thing too that I did on exam day is, as soon as my exam started, you get a little whiteboard, and this is if you do it through Pearson VUE. You had the whiteboard. I wrote key terms, anything, I think IAAS, SAAS, and what's the other one? PAAS, and kind of like wrote down my little thing. And there was a few other things that I kind of focused on that I wrote down where I had it in my brain going to exam. Like, let me slap it on a paper so I don't forget. So I kind of wrote down a little cheat sheet on the whiteboard. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to erase it, whatever you want to do. So something to keep in mind. You go into the exam not wanting to forget something. As soon as you get in, double click it, expand the box, start typing away, start getting some knowledge onto that paper and on that whiteboard, and it'll help you out. You can reference it during the exam, or you can do notes and whatever you want to do, right, if it helps you out. So my final advice here is, when you're studying, just stick to the official exam objectives. Don't branch too far off, and don't burn yourself out either. I think for me, I burned myself out studying a lot and overstudying, and I had like memory overload at one point, and I think that kind of messed me up because, again, I am a good test taker, but it's kind of not my thing also. And I think when I study, I overload my brain, and especially to the last minute, and then when time comes, I start second guessing things, and I get all messed up. But don't do that. Don't stress. Stay consistent in your studies. Just do a couple hours a day, but really make a good study guide. You study the textbook, you study Ben Truang's study guide, maybe add a few things from the study guide onto his study guide, and just really start, create your own guide so you can just reference to. I like to carry packets of papers and staple them with the highlighting them and flip through it and separate it between the domains. I thought that was very helpful for me. And honestly, anybody can pass this exam. If I can pass it, and again, it's frustrating spending $2,000 and taking the exam 4 times. 4 freaking times. But you know what? I want to get into this field. I'm interested, but I really got to knock out the fundamentals and learn the fundamentals of this exam, and I did just that. I didn't give up, and I passed. And now I have that certificate for life once I had to keep up with the doing the recertification, or so it doesn't expire or whatever. But I had this for life, and this is going to be a big tool for me getting into the field. I will be making more videos on my interview process and a few other things, and my internship and all that good stuff. But I think that's all I wanted to break down. If you guys have any other questions, you can shoot in the comment section. I know I kind of ramble on a little bit. It's been a while since I did YouTube, so it's I'll get better with that. But let's follow and subscribe. And if you have any questions, shoot them in the comments. Any videos that you guys want, I'll be making a lot more of these. It's going to be documenting my journey from law enforcement to cybersecurity. I'm going to link my portfolio from GitHub. I'll actually do a video on how to create a really good GitHub account where it looks very appealing to your to the organizations that are looking at your resume. And I think nowadays, with all the competition, I think it's very important to have a strong GitHub account. So we'll get into that. But right now. If you're just starting off, or if you're already working in cybersecurity and you need this certificate, really got to lock down. Don't burn yourself out, and relate to the resources that I gave you. Again, Ben Truang, that one book that I spoke to you guys about, the CompTIA 701 by, hold on, I'm going to slap back into that really quick. Ian Neal. I'm going to link it to my bio. And Andrew Ramdayal. That dude's on point. And then use Professor Messor for, just little details of what you want to get better at. He does a good job talking about it. You can't go wrong with anybody, but those would help me pass. And let me know if any of that works. Let me know if you guys been using that. And until next time, Cyber Donut out.